Good morning,
Hi.
dear friends and family and Sojourn community. So glad you're here
Those
with
are all
us.
the same thing.
That's right.
Just different ways of describing you.
I was going to put our names up there, but I took our names off the button here. So I guess we'll just have to say them auditorily and not have the visual support.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Colby. And that's Ben, and that's Karen, and that's Matthew.
Yay.
And
we forget to say that sometimes, huh?
We do.
We have names.
Yeah, we
Those
have
are
names. And this is Sojourn Grace Collective, and this is our live virtual. We are obviously live every Sunday because otherwise we would edit things like this out.
No.
And this is the first Sunday of Advent, so yay!
happy.
You're here and excited to celebrate with you with our little Advent wreath and just be together again. Good to be with you.
So we're going to do some music.
Yep.
We're going to light our first Advent candle.
Yep.
We're going to do
Collective
communion.
conversation.
Oh yeah, collective conversation, which is the time in the virtual service where we invite you to engage with us. We'll put some questions on the screen. You know how that works, or you'll find out soon enough. And then today we have a special guest doing our message for the morning.
Yay!
Which is going to be fantastic. So can't wait to hear from her. Glad you're with us. If you want to get the lyrics for the songs that we're doing, you can always go to sojourngrace.com/virtual to find out the music that we are doing and sing along if you would like. But happy Advent. Glad you're here. Welcome to Sojourn.
Said the night wind to the little lamb, do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb, do you see what I see? The stars are dancing in the night with a tail as big as an eye, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? A song high above the trees with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? The child Hi.
We're both looking
Hello.
at Karen. Like,
It's me. It's me to welcome you and welcome. Again, this is a live thing that we do. Don't know if you could tell. Boy, it's Advent. All of a sudden, and after years of 2020, it is now Advent. What is time? How is time going? I don't know how time is going for you. For us, it's a little weird, but we got to put up these decorations this week and sing some familiar songs, and you know what? That felt nice. Complicated, but nice. And so you are here. You have done everything that you need to do. You have met every prerequisite that existed to belong in this space. You turned on your device or your computer, you clicked through this morning, and that's it. And whoever you are, however you are coming here today, whatever you're bringing with you, and however this season sits on your skin, we are glad you're here. We celebrate you. We celebrate your identity. We celebrate your love. And we celebrate your stubborn, persistent survival of this heck of a year. Glad you're here.
Oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lowly exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Good morning on this first Sunday of Advent. We'll be celebrating Advent this season with prayers and readings from infleshed.com, an online liturgy collection. And this first Sunday of Advent, we light the candle of hope. We come to know you, Holy One, as wisdom incarnate, as flickering flame, as spirit of life, as hope, peace, joy, and love infleshed. You come to us as the stranger and the strange. Often we do not recognize you. Often we turn away from your gifts and your demands. Yet you come to us in wilderness, in the impossible made possible, in silence and singing and sighs too deep for words. You abhor dominance, mastery, fear, and control. You are made known to us in vulnerability and courage and divesting from the powers of empire. We come to you this Advent in need, with longing, in pain, captive to fear, desiring a more just world, a more livable life for all of us, for the earth, for every living thing caught and held in this inescapable network of mutual interdependence we call this one wild, precious life. And so we long for you. We long for healing. We long for liberation. We long for different systems and patterns of relating. And so this Advent, we pause. We breathe and we pray. We dig deep. We reach out. We rise up. We remember. And we vision. We sit with the pain. We stay with the trouble. We wait expectant. We light candles. We labor. We open to you and to one another, to the sacred mystery that is Emmanuel, God with us, love incarnate, divinity infleshed. The hope of God with us does not come as guaranteed outcome or predetermined plan or promise of a happy ending. Hope cannot be imposed from on high. Hope cannot be commanded. The hope of God with us is courageous, risky, unfolding, indeterminate. The hope of God with us is collective, liberating us from deadly complacency. Hope is gestating in darkness. It comes unexpectedly. Hope invites our expectation and demands our participation. Prepare the way for hope with courage. May hope be birthed among, within, and through us this Advent. O come, Emmanuel.
Come thou day spring, come and cheer our spirits by thine advent here. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadows put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, desire of nations, bind our spirits in one heart and mind. Bid envy, strife, and quarrel cease. Fill all the world with heaven's peace. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Yeah. Shepherds kept them watching over silent larks by night. Behold, throughout the heaven, you know they shone a holy light. Sing and go, tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go, tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Yeah. Shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth ring out the angel chorus. Hail our Savior's birth. Sing and go, tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go that Jesus Christ singing, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
Hi, again.
I wasn't ready.
This is my favorite part of the week.
What is this part of the week?
This is collective conversation.
I'm going to be over on the YouTubes because we've got half of our viewing congregation over there.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure out how to make sure that the two are combined and y'all can hear from each other and see each other and that the YouTubers get acknowledged and part of this, because I think we've been prioritizing and favoring Facebook. So sorry, YouTubers, and we're trying to get to you. We're trying to reach you in all these ways, and I think we finally figured it out. So you're logged in on YouTube.
I'm monitoring the YouTubers, so I see LC in the house, and Sarah Nichter, and Camille. And so if you respond to the question, we will get you.
We'll get you. Okay.
We'll get you. We gonna get you. I don't know what that was about, but I did it, and I don't regret it.
All right, so this is the time in our service where I just pull a random card out of this box, and sometimes it gets awkward and weird, and sometimes it gets dark and serious, and sometimes it's just fun, and I don't know, it's just all the things you never know what we're going to get. So here we go. What are we going to get this time? Well, there are some very obvious answers to this. So we'll name all the obvious, and then let's dig a little deeper. What will people look back at us 50 years from now and be shocked and appalled by?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So many things. Racism, white supremacy. We
That
apparently
Trump,
don't
that we
avoid
had
the
a Trump
plague.
presidency.
Trump,
That one's still
texting and driving.
future generation. Yeah, texting and driving. Football. I predict football.
Oh.
We're gonna be like, that
you
was
mean
so
seriously,
barbaric.
yeah.
Like we were destroying young men's brains.
Guns in schools.
Guns, full stop.
Guns, full stop. Sorry, we're
We
having
might
a
need
heyday
more than
over here
50
in this
years
house.
for
We're
that
all
one,
just.
I'm afraid.
There's a lot to be appalled by in our country and our little humanity situation happening. All right, I'll stop listing my own and look down at your y'all's. What do you
Something
guys saying?
about social media. I think we're going to be appalled that in these early years we were so easily led astray. Our information was so readily just freely. Oh, you would like to know what about me? Here you go. Have it all.
Let's stop listing our own because we listed a ton. We gotta
That's a good call.
Jamie says our selfish individualist attitudes during a pandemic. Oh yeah, specifically in the pandemic. Also always, but for sure with you, Jamie. Kristen, hi Kristen, says lofty amounts of hand sanitizer.
Did you put the question
We're gonna be
on me?
appalled by that?
It doesn't fit in the box that it came.
You're funny. Trump easy.
Bill Pitts on YouTube says pineapple on pizza. How dare you, Bill Pitts?
Oh.
I love pineapple on pizza.
Our family fights about that. All the
Pineapple
time,
with
every
Canadian
time.
bacon, obviously the standard. But then pineapple, pepperoni, and jalapeno is one of my favorite pizzas.
And Jamie loves that too. Selfies? Kelly says selfies.
I could
Yeah,
be.
we'll probably be appalled by those. Maybe. I don't know. I think eating meat. Oh, Sammy has a controversial opinion. Eating meat. She thinks that in the future people will be vegetarians and vegans and look back and be appalled.
Could be.
What did Jazz say that you're saying yes to? I can't see it. Gender binary? Is that what you said? I don't see her comment. I just see Matthew's response to it. That's weird. But anyway, I agree, Jazz. I think we'll be appalled by all of our definitions of gender and our ways of living those out. Voting for a man-child dictator for president. Yep.
A man-child dictator. I hope his Hollywood biopic is titled that.
Oh my God. Wait, crap. There was one I was just going to read.
Come on,
and I lost
YouTubers.
it.
I'm ready to read your answers out, but you're not
It's because
responding.
we,
I'm not
we
publicly
called
shaming
them
you.
out. Single-use plastic items, Robert. Appalled. Anissa agrees with me texting and driving.
Ben thinks that maybe
Appalling.
your YouTubers should have some slack because maybe you're watching it like on a TV or some sort of other platform that isn't easily commentable. That could be.
I didn't
There we go. I got someone
I
to
didn't
respond.
think about
Nikos,
that.
heterocentrism, centering the heteros. Yeah,
Amen.
yeah.
Reality TV.
Hey,
Okay, in our family, we're a little obsessed with
Careful.
reality TV, so that hurts.
feel a little attacked. Who said that? Who called that
No,
out?
sweet Kevin.
Kevin Carlin. Okay.
I love
That's
you, Kevin,
fine.
and that's fair. It's fair.
A lot
I can
of
be
it's-
appalled by my own behavior.
Well,
Absolutely.
One of our favorites, obviously, as we've spoken about many times here with our Sojourn community, is the show Survivor. And I would argue that Survivor was one of the first/original reality TV shows. So everything post Survivor is derivative and less than. It has devolved.
I don't know. We also watch the worst reality TV show that exists
No, we
and are
don't.
fine with it. Yes, we do.
I've never seen The Bachelor.
Okay,
Throw in
anyway,
some
moving
shade.
on.
No.
Lobbyists and Nickelback. Leave it to Amanda. I knew she would come on here and put the perfect
My
comment.
YouTube comment was Crocs, and I wholeheartedly agree, so I stuck that there.
Oh, Crocs
where?
from Camille.
Camille. Crocs.
Chris
Oh,
answers
God.
via Camille on YouTube saying homelessness. I hope. I want that to be true. That
What did
five,
you- what
five
did you read
decades
that
from
you
now,
wrote from?
homelessness. I hope 5
Oh.
decades from now we're like, wow, we just let people freeze and go hungry on the streets. Like,
Listen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's appalling. There's a lot of appalling behavior.
Although to the Crocs comment on YouTube, Brittany Bosshart just did say, if you ain't crockin', you ain't rockin'. So I think we've got some Croc love in the house. Oh my goodness. We've also got a
I
child
love
abuse.
it when y'all disagree. You're
50 years from
hilarious
now?
when
Yeah,
you
that is
disagree.
fantastic. Yes, lack of mental health resources for everyone, LC says over on YouTube.
Yay, now YouTube is throwing down.
Yes, that's
Hi,
right.
YouTube.
Has answered the call.
They have answered the call.
Next question?
That's right. Oh, yes.
One
Let's
that we
do
could
another
fit
question.
down on the
Little one.
Little one? Okay.
Elf on a shelf.
elf on the shelf. Yeah, where did that even come from? And it's how suddenly it's can it just disappear? I'm sorry for all of you
We'll
at
be
home that do
appalled
the elf
by
on the
Elf
shelf.
on the
It's
Shelf.
wonderful. It all belongs somehow.
Oh, man.
Somehow.
Nancy Jungling, hi. And she agrees with you.
Hi, Nancy.
I miss you so much, I'm going to cry.
Who does she agree
I
with?
have to stop myself. You.
About what? Just in general? That's a safe
Be
bet.
kind to Survivor.
Oh,
And its
yes.
fans. Okay.
Yes.
What book belongs on everyone's shelf?
What book belongs on everyone's shelf?
That's a hard question because it's not like, what's your favorite book? It's like, yeah, what should everyone read?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
So Ben off camera says To Kill a Mockingbird.
Y'all.
Yeah, I'm needing a minute with that question.
The Spanish version of Unclobber.
Another
I
person
was
off
about
camera says unclobber. They're not wrong.
Oh, another person here says unclogged.
Hey, come on now.
I knew
This
it would
is
happen.
great.
I knew it would happen. Chronicles of
That
Narnia.
does belong.
I agree.
That's a
Obsessed.
good- that's
We'll
a good
always be
one.
obsessed. I will never
Chronicles
stop
of
being
Narnia, that's
obsessed.
a very good answer.
Emma says Nevermore. I don't know what that is, Emma girl. What is it? Tell me about it.
The Raven.
Sarah Dawn says The Alchemist. Nice.
Oh, I've got
The
another
Power of
unclobber
Now.
from YouTube. Thanks, unclobber. Lady Red 777 on YouTube says Untamed. Great
Oh,
book
several, The
from
Power of
Glennon
Nows.
Doyle.
Nice. Noise.
Um,
Noise. Karen Thurston's What We Haven't Lost. I agree.
I mean, I've quoted it in multiple messages over the years at Sojourn, but you've all Noah Harari's book *Sapiens*. I think is a revolutionary read for many a reason. I think *Between the World and Me* by Ta-Nehisi Coates belongs on shelves.
Oh, I love these. Untamed by our friend Glennon. Start with Why. All About
I like
Love.
that
Bell
title.
Hooks. Our church read
Yes,
that book
all about
together.
love.
Good
Someone
one.
is correct. That does.
Laura said Where the Wild Things Are. One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Ragamuffin Gospel says Mercy.
Yeah, if we're
More
naming
Unclobber.
children's book here, then I'll throw Going on a Bear Hunt. I find that to be
That's one of
all
the
the
best.
yes. Can't go over it. You can't go under it.
I think we say that like
You have
every
to
day
go
of our
through
lives.
it. You
Quote
have to
that
go
book.
through it.
Yep.
Oh, we have another All About Love from YouTube.
Our
Yes.
friends here are scouring their bookshelves.
Camille, I don't know if
for
you know this, but
answers.
at Sojourn about a year ago, we did an entire church book study, small group preaching series through All About Love.
And it was such a beautiful, challenging, bonding, life-shaping.
Brene belongs on bookshelves. Austin Channing Brown belongs on bookshelves.
Book belongs on a bookshelf. I'm so glad that this book came out, got high praise, got a little bit of attention, and then this book hit a new wave of attention.
You gotta come retrieve the books though, because I
Read it.
ain't got no place to put them.
Read it. Read it. You have to retrieve them. We just become this pile of books. Oh,
Who
yay.
wrote All
This'll
About
be
Love? All About
connected
Love is
to-
Bell Hooks.
Bell
One more
Hooks.
time, we had a question. All About Love is Bell Hooks. I don't know if it's gonna focus on you because it likes our faces better.
Here's a good one that's connected to our house notes later.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Everyone should
yeah.
have some Scott in their lives. Scott Derrickson, more on that later.
He's not a moron. Get it? Moron. That later. That's all. I can only say that because Scott's one of my closest friends. So I think that makes it okay.
Doofus.
know
Yeah, except
that
for
it
you put
does.
it on me like I was calling him a moron.
That's true.
All right. Anybody else have any genius?
Oh yeah, When Things Fall Apart, Pema Chodron. Also another book that has
yeah.
shown up in
Shaped
many
our lives,
Sojourn
yes. Very Sojourn.
messages.
Oh, and the
Love.
Prophet. Karen and I live and breathe by the Prophet.
And Women Who Run with Wolves.
Oh,
Here,
my
Ben,
God.
I'm gonna give
Duh,
this back to
my
you, Ben.
Bible. Okay, everyone does need to have that on their shelves, though. So, Women Who Run with Wolves is like, it really is like a Bible where you can just, except for I think it's way better than the Bible. But you can just pick it up and open it anywhere and read, and it will fill you up for a while, and then you can put it back on your shelf, and you know, that kind of a book where you don't have to like read it through
Yeah.
or
This
anyway. Come back to it anytime.
this makes me feel like we should have on our website like a Sojourn bookshelf. So
You're so cute. This is an idea he's had for a long time. So he's like, this
Oh,
makes
is
me
it?
feel like.
maybe that's why the idea was so right there. on
I
the
know,
front of
you
mind.
guys. I love it. All right. I love all of you.
Ocean Nictar agreed that Where the Wild Things Are should be on everyone's shelf.
Yeah.
Thanks, Oshi.
Hi, Oshi.
Belonging by Toko Paterno.
Oh, Belonging. Sorry, we just keep thinking of more
Oh,
books.
Belonging is a great read.
I still haven't read that one. Y'all have been raving about it. Okay.
We've got
Anyway.
Educated by Tara Westover. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Loved Big Magic.
Big Magic.
The War of Art by Stephen
The
Pressfield.
War of Art was butt kicking.
The Art of the Deal. Just all sorts of
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
No?
I think we made it
Am I
clear
alone
in
on
our
that one?
last question that that's not truth that he just said.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, this has been
Everybody's
good.
all about the Sojourn bookshelf. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
All right.
Yay.
Thanks for participating.
Love
We're
you
gonna
all.
do
That was
one
fun.
more song and then we're gonna hear from our guest speaker.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas time.
Strings of streetlights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers run home with their treasure. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch.
This is Santa's big scene, and above all the blossom you hear.
Silver bells,
Silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Soon it will be Christmas Day.
I love that rendition. Thank you, Ben and Karen and Matthew. Well, from time to time at Sojourn, we want to highlight and bring in and share with you and elevate the voices of people around the country who kind of do similar work in similar spaces as Sojourn, but who help sort of diversify what it sounds like and what it looks like. And so it's just not always myself and Kate. And even though during this quarantine time we've been a little bit hindered in that part of our mission, we realized, hey, we can still bring guests in virtually. And so this morning, we're going to be welcoming to the Sojourn Virtual Church space a new friend of Kate and mine's named Lauren DeLeary. And Lauren lives in Nashville with her husband, Adam. And they co-host a podcast called Deconstruct Podcast. And I really recommend that for any of you who have ever gone through or are going through a process of leaving a more conservative evangelical space and kind of deconstructing that faith. They do a great job of holding space for that and bringing in guests who do that work. And so Lauren is going to share with us this morning. And Lauren is a speaker and a writer and a former CCM, which stands for Contemporary Christian Music, as she references later on in her talk, a former world touring CCM artist. And she's also a member of the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation and does a lot of work shedding light on the ways that we can decolonize and indigenize the future. And so without any further ado, I'd love to welcome you to this space, Lauren DeLeary. And when we're all done, please make sure and find her on all of the platforms, follow her, and just send her a message and say thank you for sharing with us here at Sojourn. Lauren, welcome to Sojourn.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Lauren DeLeary, and I just wanted to say, Colby, Kate, thank you so much. I am just so honored to be speaking today. Sojourn Grace, it's just truly a privilege. Today I want to talk about our spiritual connection to the earth. I'm going to address how in a lot of Christianity, not only is that ignored sometimes, that connection, but oftentimes it's frowned upon. Many of us who have deconstructed and reanalyzed our faith and kind of restructured our faith are open and curious to how we can connect, how we can have a spiritual connection to the earth and the world around us. Today, I'm going to do my best to give you some tools and ways that you can implement spiritual practices into your life that hopefully ground you and bring you a sense of peace and healing. But before I do all that, let me just tell you a little bit more about myself. I was raised in a fairly conservative and very religious household. My mother is white, my father is brown, so he is Native American and Mexican. My grandfather was full Chippewa, and my grandmother was Mexican. So white mom, brown dad, me. I didn't grow up on the reservation like a lot of my dad's side of the family, you know, my uncles and cousins. I actually grew up in North Carolina. I am the second of 4 children. When I was young, we used to attend a lot of powwows and I would fancy dance, and I just remember being in my regalia and just feeling so beautiful and so confident and so proud. And also, when I was young, my father and I, we would do like speaking engagements. My dad would speak and I would dance, and he would educate on Native history and culture. And that was really a really amazing time in my life, but also it very much cultivated who I am today. So, being the second out of 4 children, I oftentimes would seek out times alone. I wanted peace and quiet, so I would go outside, and I always found solace in nature. Before the age of 12, my spirituality mostly consisted of connecting with nature. Before I ever knew of the word meditation or understood prayer at all, I would pretty much do just that. I would meditate. I would go outside on this like big rock. We lived by a creek, and I would either go up on that rock or there was this little bridge on the creek, and I would just go sit on there. I would close my eyes and I would just feel the sun just seep into my skin, and I felt at one with everything around me. My relationship with the divine has always been intertwined with nature, and a lot of the times with the sun. So I would sit there and I would just take deep breaths, and I would just feel peace. I would feel shalom. I felt as if I could just like melt into that rock or melt into that bridge beneath me. And at the same time, I felt like my face was like one with the sun, and like I was just floating in the sky. So then puberty hit. Youth group started, True Love's Weights began, purity culture was introduced, and all of a sudden, my natural relationship and spirituality with nature became dangerous in the eyes of the religious. Prayer became confusing and structured. Listening to a voice in the wind all of a sudden became witchcraft. And peace would only come with the right amount of time with my nose in the Bible, doing my devotionals. Spirituality was out, religion was in. Fast forward, and from ages 16 to about 25, I was touring the world as a CCM artist. I was often the face of what a good Christian girl would look like on stage until I wasn't. Without getting into too much detail, my time in CCM was some of the most toxic years of my life. Between being over-sexualized, discriminated against, being told to smile, what to wear, what to say, who I could speak to, all because I was a woman, how I could move on stage. It was all dictated by CCM, by that industry, by the people. I eventually started losing my voice, and just repeating myself over and over again just wasn't cutting it. But one of the benefits of my years in CCM was meeting my now husband, Adam. He actually joined the band as our drummer in 2015. Our story really is very special, but the short version is nobody saw it coming. We did not see it coming. I was actually engaged to someone else. My world got flipped upside down. We broke things off, quite publicly, might I add. And it was the first time that I got a real taste of what it was like to fail publicly. And guess what? I got hooked. I'll get back to that later. So I remember falling so hard for Adam and just falling so fast and being so in love that I just knew it had to be wrong somehow, because I was taught that martyrdom was closest to holiness, so being this happy just couldn't be right. And I don't often hear like a voice of God, but I do remember praying, God, if this is wrong, if being this happy is wrong, I'm okay being wrong. And I remember hearing back, who do you think I am? Of course I want you to be happy. Then, slowly but surely, my idea of who God is started to shift, and what I once believed started being stripped away and replaced with something freer, something better, something holier, and so much more in line with who I truly believe God is. So Adam and I got married January 6th, 2018, and about halfway through the year, our band started falling apart. Things really started to come crashing down. My sister had thrown in the towel, and Adam and I were left with a lot of change in our life and a lot of questions. Our doubts, our personal and spiritual identities were really rocked. They were really called into question. So shortly after getting married, we went through a series of mental, emotional, spiritual, financial challenges, to say the least. It led us to deconstruction. So without our careers, a church family, a support system, I dove headfirst into my questions, into my doubts, into my deconstruction. I started tearing things apart, reanalyzing, revisiting, really all the things that I'd been taught. And so a couple months ago, we had Colby actually on our podcast. And on the podcast, we brought up the Enneagram. So if you're not into Enneagram, I apologize, just hang tight, but I'm gonna go there just real quick. So I'm a 5 with a close tie to being 8. So imagine, if you will, the researcher 5 in me going through deconstruction with a very close tie 8 challenger in me going through deconstruction. Adam jokes about how he had no idea how deep into it I was until one day I basically presented him with a thesis and explained how I was about to post the most controversial post I've ever posted before at that time. And I did it. And I lost a ton of support. And it was really a dramatic time in my life. I actually got sick twice in 1 month because of all the drama that ensued from that, just the one post. And guess what? Again, I got hooked. Anyway, so years later, and it seems that I'm just still trying to make people mad all the time on my socials, bringing things to light that make people uncomfortable or whatever. I love to share my experiences. I love to share my thoughts and my questions and my journey. Essentially, I love to document my human experience as a spiritual being. Deconstruction then led me to reconstruction. My reconstruction and healing really began at the beginning, the uprise of the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was about that time that I began to really press into my Native heritage. I've always had a deep connection with it, but this year, now more than ever, it was calling to me. So I really began listening and learning from other Indigenous people, my family, and my ancestors within. This is truly where a lot of my healing began to take place. I was beginning to understand how much of my faith that I once resonated and aligned with, and how a lot of the Christian religion and the traditions that I identified with were built by my ancestors' oppressors. Recognizing that a lot of today's Christianity is vastly manipulated and contorted to fit and suit a white supremacist narrative. And that all sounds like really bad stuff, because it is. And I'm not saying all Christianity is, but there's something about recognizing what to decolonize and dismantle and relanguage. It gave me words and verbiage for my feelings. It gave me tactics to handle my frustrations, and somehow once again gave me hope for a better future. There are specific generational traumas that I am doing my best to heal, and I'm continuing to lean into the ways of my ancestors. But there comes a time when decolonizing is no longer enough. I now understand that the future must be indigenized. It's one thing to recognize systems that are colonized and to be frustrated. It's another to do something about it, to incorporate my indigenous roots back into my life and into my mentality and into the world. One of the ways we can do that is by taking care of ourselves and the planet simultaneously. So let's explore the idea of a spiritual connection to the earth, because we all truly do deserve the peace and the healing that can come from that connection. And like I said, it's strange that within a lot of Christianity, it's really looked down upon or ignored, whether it's by denying the reality of climate change or the seeming obsession with bacon. I live in the Southeast, the Bible Belt, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I live in Nashville, Tennessee. But funny story, actually. One of the evangelical churches that I went to growing up, on Father's Day, they actually gave out plastic wrapped bacon to all the dads at the church. I mean, what is the deal with Christians and bacon? I'll be totally transparent and say that I have been vegan now for 5 years. For my health, the environment, and for the animals. I mean, if the Garden of Eden is supposed to represent heaven, why not act like it? Now, I'm not trying to get anyone to go vegan. Okay, but I do have some great recipes if you need some, so just like let me know. But there is beauty in knowing where your food comes from. So a way to connect with the earth is truly to shop local and in season at the farmer's market, eating sustainably and using less plastic and refusing single-use items and lessening your waste. Those are all just a few ways to leave less of a footprint. Making conscious decisions to take care of my body and the earth around me does feel spiritual to me. And perhaps it does for you too. On, the other side of deconstruction, just wondering how you can connect and what's next and having that curiosity. So you can use that as a spiritual tool to connect to the earth. But another simple spiritual practice is to refer back to what I used to do as a kid. I try to make a conscious decision to go outside, disconnect from social media and technology, get my feet in the dirt, and really just be nurtured by nature. I mean, for a lot of you watching this, you are in San Diego, so you are lucky to have mountains and beach, or just get outside in your backyard. Quiet reflection outside, away from distractions, is a beautiful way to ground yourself. It's getting pretty dark early here, I guess everywhere right now. And so getting outside is more important now than ever. I personally suffer from seasonal depression, but luckily I have a wild dog that basically forces me to go outside and take her on walks, or else she drives me bonkers. And if you're able, move your body. Turn on some really fun music. Open your windows. Let the light shine in. Move how you can and how it feels good to you. Of course, if you can't be outside very often, I recommend bringing outside in. So what I mean by that is get some plants, get some indoor house plants, because they really do bring a sense of peace and healing. But maybe don't get plants if you tend to kill them, because that probably wouldn't be a very happy sight. And like I had mentioned before, maybe meditation's for you. You can actually use specific grounding meditations to help calm you and center you and help you feel more connected to the earth and your body. To be grounded is to be present. As you become more aware of your surroundings, the more present you are. I've personally used meditation apps before, like Headspace, Calm, One Great Mind, and Relax Melodies. They all have a wide variety of different meditations that you can try. And if you don't want to use an app, the thing that I do most often is a body scan meditation. Take just 1 minute and scan your body with your mind. Just become aware of where you may feel pain or tension, anxiety. Maybe your jaw is clenched, or your chest is tight, or your stomach kind of feels like queasy. Whatever it is, just simply notice it and breathe into it. As you inhale, visualize sending your breath to those spots, those spaces in your body. Exhale and let it pass. Just spend a few moments bringing breath to your body. In these days, we really all could use more tools and more ways to help us feel calm and grounded. Nature also gives us amazing things like herbal teas. One of my favorite ways to settle into a meditation is by brewing myself a cup of herbal tea and then just sitting on the ground and sipping slowly. It's truly that simple. That's it. Leave your phone away, put it away to stop from scrolling. Just spend some time being still. Just doing this simple activity of just being on the ground and sipping tea truly makes me feel supported by the earth beneath me. It's also a great way to get yourself out of the mental state of doing and just being. And if I'm feeling too overwhelmed to sit down or too overwhelmed to do a body scan, I'm just too hyperactive, you know what I do? I just do what I know. Do like simple chores around the house, something that your brain can just autopilot. Getting into like a familiar rhythm. Everyday chores like doing laundry or watering your indoor plants or cleaning the dishes. Not only does that kind of get you moving, but you also get an immediate turnaround reward for the things that you're doing, which is also really nice and can be grounding to calm a very anxious mind. Lastly, I would like to add, joy. One of my favorite people and someone I look up to very much, Joe Lumen, she once said, actually on our podcast, she said to us that she uses joy as resistance. And what she meant is joy is part of the work. How great is that? You can meditate, pray, chant, go on walks, get the plants. You can do all that stuff, all you want. But at the end of the day, if you aren't doing something every day that brings you joy, that truly just makes you happy, the rest of the other stuff can just become dogma or checklists at the very least. When all is said and done, go get some chocolate. Go eat that ice cream. Watch that hilarious Netflix series. Think of the little things that make you smile or laugh. Choose those. Laughter is truly one of nature's greatest gifts. It's medicine, and it's free. I hope this was helpful. I hope sometime this week you have the time to implement maybe some of these tools to help ground you, to help calm you, and connect you to the earth. I hope these practices bring you a sense of peace and healing. I hope you find a sense of peace and know that you are loved and that you belong. Thank you again so much, Colby and Kate, for inviting me to speak today. It is truly my honor. Sojourn Grace, thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. Thank you all so much. Until next time, bye.
Don't you just want to reach through your screen and go like this? You just love her. I just want to squish her. Don't you just want to squish her? We're sending all of our spiritual vibes out into the world to bring her to San Diego. Yeah. Move this way. We love you. Come be with us. Please. I'm so glad that Lauren could be here today and give us that gift. And hopefully, I really love that she gave you a call to go out into your week and bring those easy, free practices into your life. And I hope we can all do that intentionally this week. I know that each of those things are things that you probably at some point in your life know are good for you, but you know that whole you know what's good for you and then you just don't do it. So I'm hoping that talk today can just bring that to your attention again and remind you to reset, recharge, and just intentionally do those practices and bring some joy.
Yeah, and to know that those simple things that you, like you said, you know are good for you, have a deeply spiritually grounding effect to it. Like we overcomplicate the spiritual life, I think, very often. And so, Lauren, thank you for the ways that you just brought it back to these simple practices, which is part of why we do communion with any and all elements that you have on hand.
Yes, so today we have, what is this?
You know, the Christmas time, it's a cookie from one of the tins, the metal tins that you can have different variations.
In all the world.
And so this is just
my favorite.
a holiday butter cookie that we're using today.
So whatever you have, and we always invite you to put that into the comments. We love seeing what you're doing communion with because it helps us feel like we're all together. Oh, can we tell them about last Sunday, what we got to do?
Yeah.
Is that okay to share?
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about. So whatever you...
Then maybe it's not okay to share, but I'm about to share it. So we got to, I'm going to cry again talking about it. We got to for the first time in 9 months. 9 months? Have we been in quarantine for 9 months? 9 months
something
now?
like that. Close.
For the first time in 9 months, we got to serve communion in person because we officiated the wedding of Hannah and Taylor out in
Sunset Cliffs
in Ocean Beach, and everything was distanced and safe and masked the whole time, but we did get to hold the cup while they dipped their bread in, and I mean, we was in the middle of the ceremony, so we had to keep officiating afterwards, and we couldn't. We were wrecked. We were we didn't think about it. We were just in the mode doing it, and then all of a sudden we looked at each other, we're like, oh my God, we just served communion.
Been so long.
Because we miss you, that's why. It just wrecked us because we miss serving communion in person with you. So anyway, all that to say, put in the comments what you're using because it just helps us feel like we are together and that we're all doing this and taking part. So we love seeing all your funny. Some of you use some real funny things.
I swear some of you save things throughout the week being like, oh, this will make for exciting bread and cup, which is fantastic.
I love it. Anyway, you belong, and spirituality is simple and you can practice it every day like eating a cookie.
And now they get to hear us crunch.
I hate this part. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my mic far away.
And in case you didn't see that coming, Kate took the entire half of a cookie, and I took a small bite. It's just,
How we do?
we're so predictable.
How we do?
And then we're using some coffee that was freshly ground and created on my Chemex this morning. So it's going to be
Created on my Chemex.
created via Chemex. So it's going to be light and sort of floral with lots of high notes. And I'm going to enjoy it, and Kate's going to work her way through it. 'Cause she's more of like the...
I'm a diner
base,
coffee, like Folgers.
dark.
It's fine. Yeah, burnt coffee.
You are loved, you belong, you matter, you are good. Musicians, would you come and do one final song for us? Sure. Yay! And then we got a few things to share with you before we do our
Yeah,
benediction.
and they're important and fun, so hang around.
And fun.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond and far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Noel, 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 born is the King of
Ah, wonderful.
Love y'all.
It's the most
Just
wonderful
love y'all.
time.
Do you want to know one of the greatest things that ever happened to me?
You help me, like, do I want to take that chance?
Thank you.
One of. It's an open category.
Just kidding. Absolutely. We all want to know.
The word y'all.
Yeah.
I
Super
I just
helpful.
love it so much when people first started saying y'all is inclusive and like trying to make it like a social movement, I was so down on that. I was such a stinker. I was like, that's dumb. That's from the South. I don't want to sound like that. And then just slowly but surely it grew on me, and now I'm obsessed, and I'm like, thank God I stopped being a stinker, because that word is beautiful.
The South
It
rises.
The
sounds
South
beautiful
rises.
and it's inclusive.
The new
Y'all,
South.
what does
Right.
what does Brene say? Y'all is oh shoot, she has the best saying about it. I forgot it. Anyway, Brene says something about y'all. House notes.
All right, house notes.
You made it weird. You
Yeah.
made it
All right.
weird.
So, oh no, it's not gonna happen yet. So I'm gonna wait.
He's still working on it.
Sorry, I'm gonna wait one more week because I want just a few of you that I know want to be a part of this but haven't sent me a video yet. So the idea is simple. Grab your phone, film yourself, preferably in landscape orientation.
Like this.
All you portraits out there, all you TikTokers, knock it off.
like this.
Landscape, just turn your phone a little bit. And send me just a video clip of you looking into the camera going, house notes. Okay?
House
So
notes.
that's as simple as that. And then we're going to compile and make a video because this is what we used to do IRL back pre-quarantine days.
We're trying to bring as much IRL into this space
And
as
you.
possible. If
IRL
you haven't
and
noticed.
you. So send me your,
one more
please
good
send
way
me
to
your
do that.
house notes video. Second house note is that next Sunday, right here in this space, we're going to be joined by the chair of our elder board, Stephen Van Lyon, as
Yay.
well as Gregoire Phillips, who helped lead this year's nominating team, which is him and Sammy Moran and former board member Vicky Arteaga. And they have, as a nominating team, have presented to the Board of Elders their list of 2 candidates that they would like to recommend to the larger church, which is all of us, for service as elders for a 3-year term.
The Board of Elders affirmed, and now we need the whole congregation to affirm. So
Yeah.
we'll
We're
present
gonna
those
meet them.
options to you.
They're gonna come on
and
screen.
Y'all gonna be excited about these humans. I'm so excited I can barely stand it. The second I heard who we were nominating, I was like, wait, when can we do the when can we do the thing? When can we do the thing?
That's right.
Is it now?
So, yes, that's correct. Thank you for clarifying
It's
that. It is next
next
Sunday. And then in a couple Sundays from now, we are bringing in another special guest.
Remember when we talked about him a second ago?
Yeah. Our buddy Scott
Our buddy
Erickson,
Scott.
who came
When
to
you called him a
Sojourn-
moron?
I didn't call him a moron. Hey, if you're just tuning in, that's not what happened.
All on video.
No. Kate said more on him later, and my mind is
Anyway.
a constant running.
Scott's gonna be
Words.
here, and he's gonna do live art. Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna do some art live and some speaking on his new book, which is Honest Advent, which just came out a couple weeks ago. Great way to work through the Advent season.
Yeah,
we love Scott.
If you've been around Sojourn for a while, you know Scott already.
come a
If
couple
you've
times.
just started hanging out with us, go to Instagram. That's the best place right now.
Yeah.
Go to Insta, Scott the Painter, and just be immersed and fall in love and find that your day is now filled with, those little simple practices that Lauren just shared with us? Scott is mine. Every day I go to his Instagram and use it as a meditation. So easy way
Very good.
to.
That's why I'm here.
Oh
And
yeah.
Scott is why Karen is with
Scott's
us.
why I have a Karen.
And so Ben should thank Scott. So many of us should thank Scott.
I owe you my life. Okay.
And then
What's
finally,
next?
the last house note is a very special message from our own Sarah Victor.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm the community coordinator here at Sojourn Grace Collective, and I'm excited to talk to you about an opportunity that we have this holiday season. For the past 2 years, we've been partnering with a children's home in Tijuana called Unidas por Siempre, which is run by a woman named Maria and her partner, Panchita. For 2 years, we provided gifts to them at Christmas time in the form of an angel tree, with our church members purchasing presents for the children. This year, the border closed down due to COVID, and unfortunately, Maria contracted the virus. These 2 things have critically impacted their operations, and we really want to show Unidas por Siempre our love. This year, because we can't do a physical angel tree, because we can't physically visit them as we have in the past, we're going to have a virtual angel tree, which means that we can donate money through our website so that Maria can purchase presents for the children. If you're interested in more information about the angel tree, visit www.sojourngrace.com/Unidas. In addition, we're going to have a virtual Zoom party on December 19th, so we can come together with them virtually. If you're interested in either of those things, Visit www.sojourngrace.com/unidos. Or if you have questions or want more information, feel free to email me, sarah@sojourngrace.com. Thanks. Bye.
Miss you.
Yay! Sarah and her family are, they moved out of their home and are renting it out. Their home in San Diego, where they normally do life here with us. And they decided to travel around the country in an RV because right now, might as well, right? But Sarah's still working for Sojourn virtually, and so grateful that we have all this technology to bring her in and share that with us. So we'll be making sure to keep pushing you towards sojourngrace.com/unidos regularly over the next few weeks so that hopefully you can sign up for the Angel Tree. So one of the hard things about doing everything virtually is that normally our partnership, we try at Sojourn to do these social justice projects in a more connected and healthy, not white savior way. And so our relationship with Unidos has truly been a partnership. They are our community partners. And so what sucks about the virtual part is that it begins to shift backwards and feel more like that disconnected way of partnering with people. So we're trying to make that not be the case. So when you sign up for the Angel Tree, you will still receive a photo and information about the child that you are sponsoring for Christmas, and you can join the party that they're going to have, the Christmas party. Normally we would go down there and be with them, and we would be physically present. And I know we're all over the Zoom thing, but please, for this one, make an exception to come back in, because this is different. This is going to be special. You'll get to be with these children that we're partnering with for Christmas. We don't want to do the sponsor separate, just there, I sent my money, check it off. Come be present with them and spend time with them. I'm sure they'll do their piñata that they normally do, and cake, and we'll just get to be with them and interact with them, and that's great. So you can register for all of that at sojourngrace.com/unidos.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Is that our last house
That's
note
it
for today?
All
Okay.
right, we're moving
Sweet.
on to our benediction. I want to once again special thanks to Lauren DeLeary for
Thanks,
sharing
Lauren.
with our community this morning. It was so lovely to have you. And this is the thing we now say at the end of all of our gatherings, whether we do it in person or through these virtual platforms. And it is a call to go into your week with bravery. Why? Because you are a loved child of the divine, and nothing can change that or take that away. And also be kind, because as it turns out, as special as you are, you're not unique. Everyone else is also a loved child of God.
What?
Have some kindness in your heart.
All the fours say what?
So if someone will lead us, we will follow.
Be brave.
Because you're a child of God.
Be kind.
Because
So
so
is
is
everyone
everyone
else.
else.
We love you.
y'all. Have a good week.
Happy
See you next
Advent.
Sunday. What was Burp Reel?